Welcome back, guys, and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do some seed saving demonstrations, and we're going to look at some varieties of different genres of bromeliads. These are all bromeliads, whether they be Tillandsias, Neoregelias or Alcantarias. And so today I'm going to show you the wet method that I've shown before, and demonstrate how we go about collecting and when the seeds are ripe. So at the moment there's quite a few different varieties of seed that are ripe out in the garden, and these ones are the bilbergias. So I've gone out and collected a couple of those pods. I've already taken some from that flower already a couple of days ago and soaked them. And this one here is a Hohenberger species. Now they're really sharp on the tip, so to remove these from the plant itself you need to use either a pair of forceps or pliers so that you don't get stabbed by these little sharp spines on the top. Getting the seed out is easy, but just removing it from the seed pods themselves that are growing in the garden in the inflorescence is a bit difficult, so it's a bit of a spiky thing to do. Now, what we've done is we've been doing the wet method, and the wet method is just putting the seeds into water and then shake them several times a day, and it removes the outer coating that is on the seed itself. It's a gelatinous clear coating, and if you sow the seeds with that clear coating, you will increase your risk of mould and loss as well as lack of germination. So it can take up to a week for that gelatinous mucilage layer to fall away from the seed. It is starting to happen on these. These started getting soaked about 3 or 4 days ago, and every seed is different. Now the purpose of the mucilage layer is in the wild birds will actually collect the seed and put it down on branches, and so the colony of plants will continue to spread naturally. But we don't want that mucilage layer when we're saving seed for some length of time. So they all get shaken up several times a day. The water gets changed and they get freshened up, and then once all of the mucilage layer is removed from the seed, they're then put onto either gauze, or these are makeup remover swabs, and they're put onto these to dry out until they're completely dried before storage. When they're stored, you can store them in an envelope in the refrigerator if you like, or I like to use these clear plastic containers which you can order off eBay or Amazon or wherever. These are source containers, and you can get different sizes. These ones are a little 100ml ones, and these are Neoregelia that you're looking at. So clearly they're not stuck together, so they're easy to sow now that they've all been dried out individually, and so you can disperse the seed a lot better when you're using them. Another suggestion, if you're going to be saving for a long period of time to help with preventing moisture, is just a couple of drops of silica seed beads that you get in your medications. There's an example there that you can get, you can open up, or in a shoe packet, just some silica beads, and that will help with the absorption of moisture if you're saving your seeds for prolonged periods of time. Now these seeds aren't that old, they're only a few months old, and it was too cold to start sowing them when they were ready. So these ones were picked in February earlier this year, and then we went through winter, so it's not the right time of year. Now is the right time of year that we've reached over consistently 22 to 24 degrees during the day. Our night temperatures are still low, so seed sowing is still a little bit risky, but it needs to be sort of started. Now behind is some Tillandsia and Varisha and Alcantaria. They all have parachuting seeds, and so when the seed pod bursts, and these are the little seed pods here, there's 3 in a flower. When they burst, they release all of these teeny tiny seeds, and they get dispersed in the wind, so it's best to bring them out earlier and put them away somewhere to allow them to burst. So in a container of some sort, whether that be sealed or something like that. I use just a horse feed bucket when I'm doing large quantities of seed, especially Alcantarias. So they need to be brought inside or indoors and allowed to continue to ripen and burst. Now, once you do have these seeds removed from the pods and from the containers are all named and labelled. Identification of your seed is paramount when you're saving them. So once they go onto these little pads to dry, they then just need to have a tag kept with them at all times so that there's no confusion. Now, those seeds are the same as these seeds. The ones, they ripen at a different rate on the plant. So this is a ripe Bill Burgess seed pod, and it's a matter of just squeezing out from the base all of the seed and putting it into the water. There are two there, so I'll do the second one as well. Put the bit into the water and then seal them up and give them a shake, and then every 24 hours change the water, and it will take another week or so for these ones to be ready versus these others that have been soaking already for 3 days. I could probably by the end of the day take them out. So that's how you save and do the wet method for removing the mucilage layer. These varieties that have got the parachutes, the Alcantarias, the Tillandsia, more Alcantarias, lots more Tillandsia here, they don't need to be washed. They just need to always be kept dry and labelled before you sow them, and then once they're sowed they have to be kept wet in order for them to germinate. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Nice and simple instructions on seed saving and how we go about knowing when a seed is ripe and when we're able to start to save the seed, and then they can be saved in a refrigerator or in a dry store area for a long periods of time. Several years in a refrigerator, you can still sow them quite successfully afterwards. The germination rate will go down after around 12 months. Okay, simply done. Happy gardening. Go out, see if you can find some seeds that you'd like to give it a go. Why not? It's a little bit of fun. Thanks, guys. Bye now.